right, we are streaming. Let's see if it's going over on the YouTube. And people were asking, I figure we can move it to the back of the show. But I guess there was locale drama. I don't want to get into it in the guts of the show, but if you even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Probably the Pupstar thing. We were just talking about it before you came in.
Yeah. All right, so we should be. Do me a favor, let the text know we should be streaming. I may have to change the stream key though.
All right.
But maybe it's working. Let me check.
Not yet.
Not yet. Ho ho ho! Bale botaniato. Ninja Gaiden. Why is this live? What the fuck is this?
Can go for hours.
Ninja Gaiden. Why is this live?
You can ask the flowers.
Okay, hang on. We actually are live, but we're
live.
No,
Good morning.
Stop. We're on a different. we're on a different link. So.
Oh,
do me
no.
a favor, Tech.
So we're not live.
We are live, but on a different link.
Somewhere else.
What? Okay, Icky. We are live. Hello, everybody. We're doing something with somebody somewhere, and I'm here for it. How's it going, everybody?
Stop. Take the link and let Discord know, and I'll let Twitter know.
Why don't you just use the other link?
Because I don't want to have to cancel. Oh shit, maybe I will. No, fuck it. I just don't want to have to cancel the whole fucking thing again and repost everything because when I stream in the mornings, we're streaming off. We gotta go pure OBS. No more Streamlabs OBS or any of that shit.
Yeah.
So let me change the description and stuff. All right, we're live, Nemo. We got it. We'll be right there. One sec. What was the other topic we had?
You want to hear a funny porn thing? I heard, Bunny.
Of course.
Did you post it, Tech?
You just told me not to. You just finished saying
the new link. The new link.
Yes, I asked, what am I doing? You said, no, maybe we'll just use the old one. Hold on, Tech.
Sorry. No, what I'm saying is let's post the one that's actually working. Let Discord know, and I'll let Twitter know that we're on this particular one, not the one that got sent out earlier. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Discord, here you go.
Thank you.
Bang, bang, bang. Actually, it's this one. Everyone. Have you ever heard the phrase until you see the white of their eyes?
I have heard that phrase.
You know what that phrase means, Bunny?
No.
It was like
that's not the whole phrase. The whole phrase is "Don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes," right?
Yeah, and it's from a famous like Civil War battle, or it was maybe the Revolution or something.
Closer.
Yeah, wait till you get closer before you shoot. Well, the porn story was on set. It's like this guy's like, yeah, I don't come in her face until her eyes are wide enough open that I can see the white of her eyes. And then I make it wider. And I was like, that's funny.
You know what's great is right before the show started, Tech was telling me. I said, you guys ever get nervous before you start a show? And Tech's like, no. Bunny's like, no. Tech's like, the only time I get nervous is when you're saying things like pussy and cunt and all that. I'm like, you're literally opening the show today telling a story about porn stars coming and shit. How is that any different?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, Tech, what's up with the double standard, baby?
Yeah, what's up with that, Tech? Get the fuck out of here, Tech.
What is up with the fucking youth?
With the youth? I don't even know.
All right, folks,
are we
here we
still
go.
Behind the gate?
We are now ready. No, here we go. We are now ready to go, folks. Thank you for putting up with my shenanigans. It doesn't matter why. I'll explain if you're interested. But for now, my dearest, delightful friends, Madhouse, my friends, is alive and well. Here we go. welcome to Madhouse. That was our brand new intro. There she is in the little window there. I haven't got that worked out yet. That was our brand new intro by Miss Bunny Button. Bunny, that's fantastic, dude. I love that intro. You're very welcome. In fact,
did you notice how Tech was just getting his ass beat all the way through it?
Well, at first I thought what you were going to do, because if you go back and look at it, he falls over, and I'm like, oh, is he going to do one of his silent, non-smelling fart attacks? I thought that's what it was, because his butt was kind of aiming in the direction of the bad guy octopus. But it turns out, no, I had to come in and save him, which is fine.
Yeah, that's usual.
The minute I saw that, though, I was like, okay, we got to make a video game. We got to talk to Rob the Mod and make a video game. That was so good, buddy. I love it. Well, welcome to Madhouse for your Tuesday. We're on a bit of a weird schedule, as you may know, this week, but we are here and we are ready to go. Oh, Tech's not in the window yet because Tech is supposed to be... I think I hear him. Here he comes. Tech, who do you got? We still haven't updated the goddamn gurney. I need to do that soon. Remind me, put it on the list. Who do you got? You got Canty and somebody named Mono.
Just an illusion. It's actually Mish and who's another one that's a big donor to us recently?
I don't know.
SDI?
Yeah.
Emo?
Yeah, there's a lot.
JSD?
We'll update this. We apologize. Good to see everybody. Thank you. Welcome, Matt.
Good to see everyone.
There's the show now. Where's the camera? Hang on. Wrong screen. Okay. So here's what we're doing tonight, my delightful friends. We are going to talk about some really cool news that has been breaking in the UFO world, in the science world. There's some good stuff. We have the Internet Hobo coming up a little bit later. I do want to let you know our two goals tonight. For every $50 that we make in Super Chats, we will read a chapter of the Goosebumps classics, Say Cheese and Die. Now, Bunny will have roles, I'll have roles, Tech will have roles. It will be delightful. We'll do it towards the end of the show. And we'll read up to 3 chapters tonight. So $50 a chapter. We're playing characters. We're going to make it a little interactive. We're probably going to change up the story a little bit because I have ADD and I get bored. But if you want to hear one of the classic Goosebumps stories, Say Cheese and Die, there you go. Also, an hour of horror game demos after the show if we get 20 members tonight. Now, I will tell you, the one I want to start with, I've almost finished. It is so good. I'll play it from the very beginning, called Tormented Souls 2. The opening cutscene is very cool. You don't have to have played the first one. But then we have something lined up called, what is the one, Tech, you were telling me about, I think, or I Am Not a Human? Everybody is saying that one is fantastic. We have that lined up. And we have another one. I don't know what that zombie's from. Oh, the zombies, the multiplayer co-op under the mountain thing. So
checking it out right now.
Yeah.
Confirm.
So we are going to be playing those if we get 20 members tonight, and we are going to be doing Goosebumps performance if we get $50 per chapter. So that is what's going on tonight. If you want to support the show, that's the way you can do it. We would appreciate your ducats. We are but a small, humble acting troupe with a U, out in the woods of Lithuania, trying to make it while werewolves roam the countryside. So there you go. Tech, please address the Pupstar allegations. Before we do, I was going to save this until the end of the stream, but what do you think? Do you think we just want to get it out of the way, the Pupstar shit, Tech, or move it? Because we're not LCU, we're not part of that world, but I'm happy if people want to talk. I just want to talk too long about it.
Some Tatum and WebTech Simplified. Thank you for the support.
Okay, here's what we'll do. I will. Why don't you start telling that story while I update it? So WebTech says, enjoyed the earlier stream. Thank you all. Thank you for being there earlier. Thank you for the super chat tonight. We hope you enjoy this show. Awesome, Tatum. Thank you for the 5 gifted members. You are doing the Lord's work, but the better Lord. There might be more Lords than one. Which we'll actually talk about tonight. Science might be, they're not proving it, but they've revealed some shit that might prove it. There may be more than one God. We're going to get into it. Mish has trumped awesome, but you're both doing the Lord's work. Thank you guys so very much. With the 20 gifted memberships, Mish, I'm going to make up a song about Mish right now. I went to a store and bought Mish. That's all I got. I'm not a very creative guy anymore. Have you played my last couple of games? They all failed. Thank you, Mish. And then, of course, oh, my God, my girlfriend. One day she'll realize that she made the wrong choice and married the man that she married. Canty, come see my Look, Canty, we love you. Did you hear I almost said money, but I held back because Tech wants to get sponsors for the show. Canty, thank you, buddy. That is amazing. That is incredibly generous. We appreciate it. So we are doing horror demos this evening. We've already demolished that goal. Let me update that. Thank you, Canty. Thank you, Mish. Thank you, Awesome. And thank you, Web Tech. We sure do appreciate all the support you give this show here. Now, Tech, while I update this, will you please tell people what the fuck is going on with Pupstar? I don't fucking know these people. What's going on?
She's going through it, you know. She's so from what I gather, and Bunny, you've also been, I think, keeping up to date, is the Discord mod team over there has looked through what servers she's in. I don't know how real that is, that they're able to get access to see what servers you're connected to. There is settings on. Yeah, when you sign up for the
it says that you give them access to all the servers you're in. So I just assumed that was real.
So they know that. Okay, so what?
So Pupstar was in some wilder.
Tell people who Pupstar is if they don't know.
All right, Pupstar is a friend of one of Sarah's friends who I so if my girlfriend's like, oh, my friend wants to do live streaming stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'll help them out. I'll get them like a little bit of a little connection. And so I had them come on and audition for Locale Dark when I was hosting that. Because I was like, she's an interesting girl for sure. You know, it's loud, but she's interesting.
Okay, so she got the job.
She got the job as a host to be on Locale Dolls. But everyone knew, like, oh, this is a tech hire. Tech hired her, and now people are like calling me a spy, and people are saying she's like a.
What did she do that was a problem? Who get what? I don't know.
Some of the Discord servers she's in have been associated to like self-harm and the incel community and so on.
Wait a minute,
and they're like, that's too much for our Gentile little community.
Another interesting connection is the night that she jumped on a Locale show. She was also on a stream with Ben Thorpe.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
Ben Thorpe is. Remember when you first got onto the Locale thing with Jay and Rich? You went on a show with Rich and like one blonde lady and also Lynx.
I remember. Yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yeah, that blonde lady was Grace Thorpe. And Grace Thorpe and Ben Thorpe, it's it's a dad and daughter couple, probably. They probably fuck, allegedly. Yeah. Anyways, they were known to have like been what word would you use? Like seditious?
I don't even know what that means.
Like
it relates to this.
Like seditious of the Locale community, right? The Locale live community.
What is that?
Yeah,
they're like the detractors. They're like they were trying to collect everybody that was getting kicked out of Locale and like
who gives a shit?
Formulate a resistance.
What is the problem? These people are they're all babies.
Well, hold on. The Grace Thorpe thing. They've been known to like get into their little fucking RV and like drive out to like people's IRL houses, like streamers' houses, and try to confront them. And I'll fight you, and I'll do this. Like Ben Thorpe, the guy has been on camera beating his son, like his adult son, for like talking back to him.
Okay, so now you're getting to it.
You're loud as shit. Holy fuck.
Everybody told me I wasn't loud, so I had to up my thing.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Now,
let me just get all this. Let me get all this together though. Yeah. So the Thorpes are probably not necessarily good people, at least the father is what you're saying. And we have evidence of that. And so Pupstar was what? What was her relationship with the Thorpes? She did what?
He was just on like a dating stream and he was on it. And I guess
that's enough.
Can't be on
Look, let me just fucking say this to anybody who's watching on Locale or from the Locale people or who. It's embarrassing what you guys do. People, if you've got, and again, I had a good relationship up until the very end with Keemstar. I like a lot of the host. I enjoyed my time there. But the shit that I see in our Discord about there's a spy over here from there and, or she went on this guy's show and you can't talk to her now. It's like, what is wrong? Do you realize how childish You're adults, man. You sound like you're in middle school.
I think that's why they have the whole thing with like checking your servers so that before you can even get in the lolcow Discord is because they're checking to see if you're in a Discord with the Thorpes.
Well, who gives a shit? You're not all. I mean, think about that. I'm going to give you my money to be part of access to your Discord. And what, you're going to look at my social media history to decide, what is it, a country club? I mean, I guess that's fine if that's what they want. But it's so it's so embarrassing for them when you hear grown adults talk about this. It's like, come on, man. Why? Okay, so she was removed from her host position, and now she's a whatever. She's not
been kicked out completely.
Now I thought she was just removed from her host, but she could be.
She lost her host position and was made an intern, and I think she quit and said, I'm going to take some time off.
So why did she lose her host position?
For being associated to other servers.
Oh my God. Oh my God. How
too bad.
Dumb.
Well, the thing is, like, you can't just put new rules on people that you pull out of your ass. Like that, okay, everybody understood the whole you can't be in one of the Thorpe servers. She wasn't in one of their servers. They're just mad because of the servers she was in that there were no rules for. So that's stupid. You can't just that's just stupid.
That's embarrassing. I mean, I look, I think Keemstar's laughing all the way to the bank, as he should. Good for him. There's a sucker born every minute. But if you would like to be deprogrammed, welcome to Madhouse. Okay? Welcome to this channel, because I don't know what to tell you. When I hear it as an outsider, I just, people use the word cringe a lot, like Anthony, and it's overused. But I will tell you that that's
I'm cringe?
Yeah, that's fucking cringe. Go wherever the fuck you want to go on the internet. Fuck you. You got my money, it works, I get access. That's my relationship with the Keemstar LCU server. And again, they have a right to make their fucking rules, fine. But my God, the fact that all these people are acting like these are rules that are worth following and giving a shit about, fuck off. Talk to whoever the fuck I want to talk to. What's wrong? Okay, let's move on. But this is dumb. So dumb. Well, I hope your friend's okay. I mean, because think about that.
Sarah's friend.
Sarah's friend.
She's a friend of a friend, I guess.
Whatever. I hope that she's fine. Because that's some ridiculous bullshit. Now, let's move into our show. What's that?
I said I like her.
Yeah, I've never met her.
I mean, yeah, she was very entertaining. She was smart. She was funny.
What are they? Let's move on.
Good one.
Yeah, dumb. Okay. Okay, so speaking of weird, cringy people, we do have, and this will lead into our first topic, we do have a Reddit. It's not highly trafficked. I don't even visit it that often, but I saw something the other day that Bunny shared with me, and one thing particularly stood out from a guy who says that he no longer watches the show. He goes by the name Odd Sherbert. And I wanted to read this. He says, no one at Madhouse are actually equipped to talk about any of the topics, most of which are just cryptid bullshit. Okay. Now, I take issue with that, but I take issue with that, and you'll see why in just a second. Okay. First, I'm going to play you a very small clip from Joe Rogan when Joe Rogan was interviewing, what's this guy's name? A couple of weeks ago, he interviewed Jesse Michaels, who I guess makes videos and he gets into all the UFOs and blah, blah, blah. So this is what he and Joe Rogan were talking about, and it might very quickly become evident why Odd Sherbert's comment, I think, is goofy as hell as it relates to this. But if not, I'll tell you in a minute, because then that ties into what the Wall Street Journal published just a couple of days ago. So here we go. Let me put this on the screen so we can all watch as pals do. Entire screen. There you go. There's little Joe Rogan up there. And we are off to the races, my friends.
Yeah, but then there's the question of disinformation, right? Like, you could conceivably give people a bunch of nonsense and tell them about it, knowing that some of it is going to leak. And it's going to and it won't be verified, and it's going to make this whole story seem even more ridiculous and make people less likely or reluctant to study it.
Totally. And in his case, he says that he was in this, mountain base or whatever
where all of the world's nations were working together as part of some collegial
he's about to
UN
get there.
style space
Here he
program
comes.
or whatever. So that to me might be a little, beyond the pale. And I'm glad you made that point, because that is ufology 101. And I've heard you be incredibly exhausted and frustrated at UFO disclosure. And I think that is the reasonable response. It is limited hangouts on limited hangouts. It's just, we're going to give you a little bit, but we're also going to sprinkle in some falsities and some bullshit. We're going to stigmatize it. And it kind of works because it creates this initiation path for recruiting. If there are any of these programs, it widens the surface area. It both conditions the populace, but also stigmatizes the thing and makes it seem like kind of a joke.
Okay, so you get the idea. They're talking about disinformation, right? Now, I want to talk as that relates to what Sherbert said, as that relates to what was just in the Wall Street Journal. So 2 days ago or yesterday. So, but before I get to that, you guys have heard about UFOs flying over nuke bases in America and shutting down the ability to launch nukes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. This blows my mind because that has now been explained. It is utter bullshit. It has been allowed to be out there as utter bullshit in front of Congress. Here's what it actually was. And now the Wall Street Journal did this amazing article on it. Let me just start with that. But here it is right here. He's talking about this guy who's now 84. And he used to work in manning controls of 10 nukes in Montana. It says he was prepared to launch strikes against the Soviets if they ever attacked first. One night they got a call. A glowing red-orange oval was hovering over the front gate. And suddenly, about 10 minutes later, all 10 missiles were disabled. Soon he learned that this was happening at other silos all over the place. Okay. And all he was told the next morning, he was ordered never discuss this incident. Okay. What this was America was testing out what would happen if we got struck first, and would the defenses, the concrete that were put around these silos, be able to prevent the shock waves coming in and shut down the missiles. So this glowing thing above the base was basically it says it was a electromagnet generator that simulated the pulse of disruptive energy without the need to detonate a nuke. When activated and placed on a portable platform above the facility, it gathered power until it glowed, sometimes with a blinding orange light. It would then fire a burst of energy that could resemble lightning. And that's what shut down the nukes, right? But no one ever revealed this until a small group within, which I think they were called Arrow, inside the Pentagon. This was one of their discoveries, which is that there have been time and time and time again, the American military has basically lied, and we've always talked about these things possibly being a psyops, right? But now we're actually getting this report, and this is only part one. I just want to take you through a little bit of this, but because part two hasn't been published yet. But it's Pentagon disinformation that fueled America's UFO mythology. U.S. military fabricated evidence of alien tech and allowed rumors to fester to cover up real secret weapons programs. Now, no one would go, oh my God, we've always said that might be a possibility. But when you hear how far back this went and is still possibly going, listen to this. In front of Congress, like a year ago, whenever it was, they basically did, they told a story about in the 1980s. It says an Air Force colonel visited a bar near Area 51. He gave the owner photos of what might be flying saucers. The photos went up on the walls into local lore and went the idea that the U.S. military was secretly testing recovered alien tech. But the colonel was on a mission of disinformation. The photos were doctored. The now retired officer confessed to the Pentagon investigators in 2023 that he had done this, and it was to actually block what was really going on at Area 51, which was stealth fighter creation. And they didn't want the Soviets to know about it, right? Listen to this. When Congress sat these people down and said, you owe us a document, and we covered this a year ago or whenever the document was delivered. I want to say it was December. You owe us the Arrow report. It was kind of nothing. It was like most of this stuff can be explained with weather balloons, birds, whatever. But it says, a Wall Street Journal investigation has revealed the report itself amounted to a cover-up. The report itself that came in 2023 that Congress said, we're tired of you guys lying and hiding the truth. We want the truth. The report they got was a cover-up. The public disclosure left out the truth behind some of the foundational myths about UFOs. The Pentagon itself sometimes deliberately fans flames in what amounts to the U.S. government targeting its own citizens with disinformation. And then it goes into more details. It says, evidence is emerging that the government efforts to propagate UFO myths date all the way back to the 1950s. Tons of interviews. It says Area 51 military officers spread false information to create a smokescreen for real weapons. Stories tended to take on a life of their own, such as the 3-decade journey of a purported piece of space metal that turned out to be nothing of the sort. And I'll show you that right here. This is from Larry King Live, where Art Bell, who I think most of us have great affection for, goes on Larry King because somebody had phoned into the Art Bell show and sent him this and said, this is from Area 51, and this is a metal. Well, you'll see. Here's what he says.
Here it is. This is, my audience will understand what this is. What you have in your hand is bismuth and magnesium. And it is from Roswell. This is ostensibly from the crash at Roswell, New Mexico. This has been examined by just about every rare metals, exotic metals manufacturer in the country. It's been to Sandia. It's been to all the great labs of the country. Nobody knows how it's made. Nobody knows how it's kept together. It should be pure dust. Nobody knows where it came from. Most likely explanation, it was put together in space. Now, what you're holding in your hand is impossible. That bismuth and magnesium could be put together is simply impossible. Now, by the way, we had it tested at Carnegie in Washington, and I forget the type of radiation, but it's 60 times normal, so you might want to put it back.
I think that's a good idea.
But, okay, so there you go, right? So that ends up being horseshit as well. Not that Art Bell was out there pushing this, but this was some of the stuff the military allowed. And listen to this. This is where it gets cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. A long-running practice was more like a fraternity hazing ritual that spun out of control. Investigators are still trying to determine if it was an act of local commanders or it was a more centralized, institutionalized program coming from the top. Here's what they said. This is amazing. It says that these people who went to work in certain parts of the Air Force, here's what they had to say. Where did it go? It says... let me find that link real quick. 1 second. There's the guy who did all ran the office. Here it is. A former Air Force officer was visibly terrified when he told Kirkpatrick's investigators who ran the Pentagon thing that he had been briefed on a secret alien project decades earlier and was warned that if he ever repeated the secret, he would be jailed or executed. The claim would be repeated to investigators by other men who had never spoken of the matter, even with their spouses. It turned out the witnesses had been victims of a bizarre hazing ritual. For decades, certain new commanders of the Air Force most classified programs, as part of their induction briefings, would be handed a piece of paper with the photo of what looked like a flying saucer. It was described as an anti-gravity maneuvering vehicle. The officers were told that the program they were joining, dubbed Yankee Blue, which has now been discontinued once Congress found out about it, was part of an effort to reverse engineer the technology on the spaceship. They were told to never mention it. Many never learned it was fake. Kirkpatrick found the practice had begun decades before and appeared to continue. They're still trying to figure out why they misled, whether it was some loyalty test or a more deliberate attempt. But these guys had no idea. When they were interviewing them, it said how many people were familiar with the matter. The official she was interviewing said, "We know it went on for decades. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people. They signed NDAs. They all thought it was real." So all of these people, or a lot of these people that are now out there with secondhand stuff saying, I saw this, I was told this, almost all of it now has to be re-examined because it's all utterly probably horseshit. It's a really good.
Probably on purpose too.
Well, that's the whole point. It was on purpose.
Yeah.
They're saying it was on purpose, and then, I mean, the fact that this is the thing that shut down the nukes. The fact that the government allowed this story to fester for decades. Oh my God, the aliens are cutting off our nukes and blah blah blah, and it was just this.
Well, and that exactly, when we talked about this, that's exactly what I said it was going to be. I said, they're just letting everybody think it's aliens because they don't want people to know that it's them.
Right. Yes. It says that there's a gigantic cover-up, not only by the Air Force, but every other federal agency that has cognizance. We were never briefed on the activities that were going on. The Air Force shut us out of any information. Last part of this, concealing the truth from men like Salas, who was the guy in the bunker whose missiles didn't launch, and deliberate efforts to target the public with disinformation within the halls of the Pentagon, it would become almost an unstoppable thing as decades pass. This is the real clincher. The paranoid mythology the U.S. military helped spread has now a hold over a growing number of its own senior officials who count themselves as believers. So a lot of these people, like my age now, that are in charge of these programs and in Congress, grew up believing this shit, and now they're like, I want to get to the bottom of it. The crisis grew to a boil over a piece of metal mailed to a late-night radio host in 96, which we saw, which the sender said they had been told was part of a crashed spaceship. And then we're waiting for part 2 of the article, which hasn't been published yet. So I got it. And then, of course, you've got the people coming out trying to triple debunk this. It's like the article does nothing to account for the near daily reality of sightings that pilot, service members, and regular folks witness. This guy who covers a lot, I think about UFOs on TV, what's his name? Ross Coulthart. I think the hilarious thing about this, it's such a joke, because it's effectively admitting we've known for years, which is there are people, gatekeepers to the secret about UAP programs, who have been lying and deceiving us. But he still says, it says the article raises question of whether some of the biggest names to come forward recently, like David Grush, could have been led fake information about UFOs and top secret programs. So we've always known there's disinformation. I did not know that this was at the level of this. And I don't think anybody knew. I think that's what this article says. In the chat, somebody says, well, ask Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar, they're even saying, could very well, in fact, that thing I showed with Joe Rogan, could very well have fed there. He's like, I don't have any doubt Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar went to, I think, S4, Area 51. He saw what he saw. But now he's saying there's a very good chance that they knew Bob was the kind of guy that would talk, and they targeted him and they fed him this information. And it's still going on to this day. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't aliens. Maybe there are. I believe there are aliens or whatever. But
it all just confirms what I already thought. It's just the government. And that's why I don't trust anything about aliens, because I just automatically assume they've been given wrong information by the government.
Right. And then the other question is, do you think, though, that all UFO reports now, because some of these debunkers are saying, well, that doesn't mean that people who see something, it's not real. It's like, okay, yeah, but now that we have this, what it probably means is what they are seeing is something the government has. And sure, there may be cases, but I mean, I guess my question is to you guys in the chat, does it make you less willing now than you were before this report came out to believe any of this shit now? By the way, it all goes back to little idiot Sherbert on Reddit, when he's like, we're not qualified to talk about this. That's the fucking point, moron. The idea that if we're talking about ghost or cryptozoology or UFOs or parallel universes, if you actually think the people who are qualified to talk about it are the ones that speak the fucking language and just say the fucking rote shit that all the people in, let's say, ufology are the ones that you should listen to, no one knows what's real, so no one gets to be an expert, Sherbert, is what I would say.
Yeah, you tell them.
And it seems like me, the stoner whore that isn't equipped to talk about anything.
They called you. Somebody called
got
you.
Got it closest.
You got.
I know.
Right.
And look at this. I was pretty much right.
Somebody called you. Somebody called. Talk about that brief. Let me get these super chats, and I want people to have context of that, because that made me a little mad. Drew DeSato, thank you so much for the gift membership. We very, very much appreciate it. It is kind and courteous. Willie Farnsworth, I'm glad it wasn't too complicated tonight to figure out how to get us a membership. We appreciate it, Willie, very, very, very much. April Cool with the little cute cat sticker who's smiling at me and flirting. Little sexy cat. I know, filthy. It's a little scandal. April Cool, we appreciate it. And don't forget, we have made, because of your generosity, the horror doc. So while we would always love members, now we're trying to race to the $50 a chapter for a live performance of at least one chapter, maybe 3, of Goosebumps, Say Cheese and Die, just so we can show K-Nubs how it is done. Okay, Bunny, why did somebody call you a druggy whore? Those fighting words.
Yeah, them's fighting words. They said that all I do is sit here and get high, which is funny because I normally don't even get high until we go over on the show.
I think they're confused because they see you vaping and they think that's right, and they think that's marijuana. But also that you're a whore?
Oh, yeah, and that I'm a whore, but this is my favorite part about that. Okay, so I was like, okay, this person just called me a whore. Let me go do a little snooping and check their profile. They are in the sex work industry. They are literally knee deep in the industry that they are trying to shame me for.
And you're not
I think they're like a producer. They're like, or they run a studio or something, but it's for MILFs and GILFs.
And I didn't know what GILFs was, but apparently that's grandma's. Bunny has explained to me. Yeah, and so I was busy all weekend and exhausted. I ran out of Vaseline twice once I learned there was grandma porn. That's all I did. Yeah. That's all I did. Yeah. But look, I love that you are not shamed by it. First off, I think it's so gross.
You can't be ashamed of something that you're not ashamed of. I'm not ashamed of it.
And you're not
make me feel bad about it.
A whore is a negative way to say sex worker, which there's nothing negative. It's such a double standard. I fucking hate that shit. I fucking hate it. Well, fuck that guy because he was wrong. You knew all along what it took the Wall Street Journal probably $100,000 to research and 6 months to vet. Yeah, Bunny's our new prophet. But does it make you guys, Tech, run a poll? Does it make you guys, does this report change your view when people now say they've seen the Tic Tac or they've seen aliens or whatever? Does it make you think something different? Do you still think sightings exist beyond the cover-up? And then it kind of, that's the poll. That's the gist. But then it also makes you kind of go, okay, well, wait a minute for a goddamn minute. What else are we being lied to about then? Jesus fucking Christ, man. If we can all agree that this is real and they're lying about this, what are we even doing here? It's all a charade. Don't you think?
That's why drugs are illegal. I'm telling you, they don't want us to know all the things that you can do to actually open your mind up. Yeah. And that's why they're like, no acid, no mushrooms, no fun allowed.
Or no mental evolution allowed.
Yeah.
No mental evolution allowed. Look at that. Mish comes in hot. That's what you do when you say hot because it makes it sexy. Comes in hot with a 50 spot. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, fuck that guy. Some love for Bunny. Love the intro. You goddamn right.
Thank you, Mish.
Thank you, Mish. I love Mish. We are now one chapter deep into Goosebumps, Say Cheese and Die. Thank you so much, Mish. Excellent. You used to be able to buy DMT off Amazon? I didn't know that. That is, let me update that, and then I want to talk to you guys, speaking of what Bunny is saying about drugs being illegal, I want to talk about something. Have you guys heard of spiritual tourism? I'm sure you have, right? But we are now in spiritual tourism season.
What's that?
That I don't know.
Well, do you know what spiritual tourism, though, is, right?
Yeah, I know what the spiritual tourism is, yeah.
I don't think I know what that is.
Wait, hang on. So we are now, how much money into the next chapter? We are $4 into chapter 2, right? Because Mish gave 50 and we were already at 4. So we've got one chapter down. We're going for chapter 2. Okay, cool.
I'll give you an update.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Well, what's happening is an American tourist has died after taking ayahuasca at a retreat in the Peruvian Amazon. Spiritual tourism has been on the rise with people going down to South America, specifically Peru. They call it, and there it's ayahuasca tourism. It has surged recently. Dozens of jungle retreats offering traditional ayahuasca under the supervision of a guide or a shaman. And a friend of mine went and did it like 20 years ago and said it was a great experience. Most people don't have a problem, but people are starting to die down there if they're not equipped for it. And go ahead.
Well, I've also heard that women that go down there run the risk of like getting touched while they're unconscious and stuff by the people that are leading these. There's a lot of those popping up where they're using it as a way to lure women in.
I didn't know that Harvey Weinstein ran ayahuasca retreats, and
basically,
I mean, hey, Liquid, thank you. Where's Cat Clan? I don't know. She's
sleeping.
Oh, the baby, my sweet.
She was working her grocery store job in the 106-degree heat.
I can't wait till you guys get your ass down here. That's ridiculous. All right, we are up to 6. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. And then we got ourselves one more member tonight. Thank you so much, Ellie Alice, for sending a Jaffe gift membership that goes to our new best friend, a quarter. You are the knees bees. Thank you, pal. But now these people more than half the people who take the popular and potent psychedelic drugs suffer from mental health problems related to the trip, says data. That's hard to believe, but okay. In addition, 1 in 10 people need prolonged professional support after. In some rare cases, the plant can prove fatal due to its effect on the heart. The tragedy in Peru is recent. A year ago, there was another one. She went down there. She took it. She died. And I bring it up because, A, I want to do it. Here's another shocking incident. This is from Daily Mail. In Peru, a Ukraine tourist killed and dismembered a Russian woman after he took ayahuasca. So it'll fucking break you for sure. But obviously, I wouldn't go down to the goddamn jungle and do it. I would do it in a place where I can get to a goddamn hospital. But here's what's really
the way of the shaman a couple times. I don't know you, Jaffe.
You do it with me? Well, you won't do it with me. You'll do it while I do
I'll
it.
watch you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca?
I'm basically a shaman.
Yeah. Okay. Basically. All right. Fair enough. Basically.
I've done the ayahuasca, Jaffe.
You have not.
Yep.
What is do you ever have time to live a normal life with all these fucking stories you sit and make up? When did you do the ayahuasca?
When I was doing the Department of Homeland Security training thing, the way the rooms worked out is like it's 2 people in one room, there's a connected bathroom, and then there's 2 people in the other room.
Yeah.
And one of the roommates in the adjoining room, his mom is like the spiritual lady up in like Reno, Nevada.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, come on by. We can try it out. Because I would have done acid with the guy a couple times. And he was like, my mom can show us some cooler shit. And we get to her house, and she has this yellow room, and it's all padded, right? It's small. It's like a walk-in closet.
If I went to a stranger's house and I saw a padded yellow room, my instinct would be don't go in there because you ain't ever coming out. That sounds like the place they kill you in, and the blood absorbs in the walls.
She had speakers in the ceiling, right? It was like those fancy ones that like they put a hole, like a little like little like cup lights, whatever the fuck they are. There's just speakers.
Recessed speakers?
Recessed speakers.
That's what us classy folks call it.
Yeah. So she has that going on, and it's like there's just like 2 benches, one side, one on the other. They're both padded. The walls are padded. The door is padded, and there's no handle on the door from the inside. There's just a handle on the outside. On the outside. And yeah, she was like, if you really want to do this, yeah, we can do a little ayahuasca. We can talk about your feelings. Because we sat down and had dinner with her. Like, yeah, I get your son high all the time. She's like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Thank you. And then she's like, tell me about yourself. And I went and told her, I was like, yeah, my life's been a little interesting. She's like, tell me more. And so I told her.
Is this after you tried to end things for you or before?
Yeah, this is after.
Okay. Okay.
I tried about a couple weeks after my 19th birthday. And this would have been around my 20th birthday. So it's about a year after.
Tell us the experience briefly. We don't need all the details of the room, but what happened?
How sick did you get?
I didn't get sick. She told me I was going to get sick. I did not get sick. I did poop a lot. I did poop a lot the day after, but I didn't get like that nausea feeling. But I did. It was essentially, I feel like things slowed down, right? How do I even describe it? I feel like I went through an ego death, but I don't know if I did.
Was it spiritual? Like, did you see? I know DMT is more of the machine elves and stuff, but did you see entities, or it was just color and it was a feeling, or what was your experience like?
For me, it felt like everything was vibrating. and I spent a lot of the time with my eyes closed. And they were like, try and open your eyes and see stuff. And I was like, nah, nah, I'm good. And it was a lot of like all the body pain, because I've had these injuries, right? All the body pain is gone. Yeah. When I did open my eyes and I would like see my hand, it was like my hand would be here and I would move it, but in my brain, my hand is still here. And then it's like, what is the feeling of the nerves making my arm go this way? It was very like, it felt like being outside the computer.
Have you done ayahuasca, Bunny?
I haven't. I've read a lot about it. Yeah. Like, I've read The Way of the Shaman a couple of times to try to prepare myself to do it, but
not yet. Well, maybe I think we should make that our next,
stream goal.
IRL.
I love
experience.
Drugs and I love psychedelics, but ayahuasca is the one thing that I'm actually like kind of afraid of.
I just don't want to shit and vomit in front of everybody.
I feel like I'm not mentally prepared yet.
Oh, I think I am. I'm ready. Baby.
This lady seems to like, she did it regularly with clients. I think like, I don't think it's as scary as it looks like. I watched the Vice video that they did in like the middle of the fucking jungle. Have you seen that video, Bunny?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Vice goes out to the tribe and they do like the whole ayahuasca trip. In this setting, it felt better than what I imagined that would have been, being in the actual fucking jungle, uncomfortable with like groggy fucking moist.
I've just read a lot that if you have a lot of like unresolved trauma, that it will come up. And I'm like, I know I do.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Then that's,
yeah.
I guess have you done the DMT?
No.
Yeah,
I've only ever been around people doing it. I've had the opportunity. I could call somebody now and do it, but that's another thing. Like, anything that makes me face trauma, that's what I'm like, maybe I'll wait.
Well, I'll bring it up on the next Madhouse. I saw I saw this one guy who's got a relatively popular YouTube channel. He talks about psychedelics and stuff. I forget what his name is. Real goofy looking dude. And he was saying there are things that, people say they see these entities and the machine elves and all that. Apparently there are ways to get barred. I know this sounds crazy, but he's like, you can ask many people. It's not just his personal experience.
Well,
you can say things and they will no longer let you quote in, whatever that means. And it is a universal or mostly universal experience. It's not just like, this was my weird experience. I asked them, is Walt Disney really frozen? And they kicked me out. It was like, no, this is what you ask, or this is what you do. And they will reject you from that realm. It sounds crazy to me. Now Bunny's talking to ghosts.
No, my dog's asleep and she's hitting the door.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, she's having a dream. But that guy that I want to have on eventually, I don't know how you want to do it, because I don't think he would be too serious, but he would be. But he wrote the field guide for DMT entities. Like, he
oh my God! Give me the name of the book.
I tried to tell you. Yeah, he's written all kinds of books about DMT entities.
What's the name? Give me the name of the book. I want to order it and read it first. Hey, check that shit out, Ellie Alice. Thank you for 5 more gift memberships, buddy. We appreciate that very goddamn cockadoodie much. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Ellie. Very kind, very courteous, very generous. Thank you, Miss Ellie.
It's called, I think it's just called DMT Entities by David J. Brown, and it's the illustrated field guide to DMT.
David J.
I know. Yeah, the guy.
That's me. The illustrated guide to field. Oh, I'm getting this goddamn book, and then we're gonna have him come on. That's excellent. That's excellent.
Yes, he's already said he would come on. Like, I have his.
Okay, we're getting him on. We're getting him on. I want him on. Okay, we will have him on, absolutely. Okay, now, the reason I even bring this up, besides being interesting that these people are dying, is it's kind of like the other night we were talking about when you die in your sleep, and you wanted to die in your sleep, but I'd be like, how would I know it's not a dream? Maybe these people think they're still on the trip if they died, right? It's like, oh, no, they said you'll feel like you're dying. And it's like, no, you're dead. And they don't fucking believe it, right? I mean, not that there is an afterlife.
They just
maybe
think that the trip's never ending.
And they're like, I'm God, you're in heaven. Sure, God. Okay. Wink. Yeah. Sure, God. And it's like we can't convince this guy that he's really dead. It's like, okay, I know what you're doing. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. But I'd love to have this guy on. Yes, indeed. Okay, now. Oh, my God. This. Oh, my God.
What?
Well, we're getting into it. We're getting into it, children and childreddies. Look at this. You know what you're looking at? You probably don't, but you might.
Looks like my mom.
Okay. Your mom's cooch cooch. I understand. What do you know what you're looking at?
Is
feel
that
like I
the
should.
massive super black hole affecting like space?
Sort of, but not really, but sort of. Here's what, but Bunny, what were you going to say?
I don't know. I feel like I should know what this is.
Well, I mean, kind of, sort of. I wouldn't know what it is, but here's what it is. A new theory has just been published saying the Big Bang Theory is wrong. And this is a new theory because the Big Bang Theory, it's science. Who the fuck really knows? And this is the thing with Tech, by the way. Tech being our resident cynic or thinking he's a realist. Obviously, science, the whole point of the scientific method is it's open to change. And this is not valid. This is not locked in, and this is what it is now. But if you would have asked me, do I believe in the Big Bang? I would have said, well, yeah, because that's what science shows us. But you learn more, and they start to go, well, maybe it wasn't the Big Bang. Here's what a lot of these very reputable scientists are saying now in this newly published study, which is the universe, this is amazing. Our universe was not formed by the Big Bang. Our universe, because one of the problems with the Big Bang is they said, it's great for normal physics, but when you get into quantum physics, it's impossible to explain the Big Bang. It doesn't make as much sense as they thought it did. This theory explains both real up-level physics and quantum physics working together. Here's what they are saying. They are saying that there was, in a already existing universe, there was a black hole that was formed. And the black hole sucked in everything around it, not the whole universe, just like we have black holes in our universe. And scientists up until this point, like Roger Primrose and Stephen Hawking, said that it'll just keep going forever. It'll just keep sucking down, down, down because nothing will escape it, blah, blah, blah. These guys are saying, no, what happens is, and they've replicated this in a lab, they've said that you can basically, when all that stuff gets packed in so densely, it's what they call a bounce, and everything shoots back out, right? And then starts expanding. So our whole universe is not in a black hole, it is a black hole, right? So there's a universe above us where the black hole first formed, and all of our black holes in our universe are forming other universes within them. And they said the trick is, if you look at this right here, this is sort of the area where everything got heavy enough that it collapsed into the black hole. But this is the event horizon that light cannot escape from or come into. So unless we can come up with a way to see faster than light, we're never going to know what's outside of our universe. And this is, I'll show you the study, or I'll show you the article on the study. Researchers suggest universe was formed following gravitational collapse that generated a massive black hole. And we're now, it's called the black hole universe is the theory. And so the meta universe, there could be billions, trillions of these fucking black holes, just like in our universe. How many black holes are there? And that alone. So when I was talking earlier about, are there multiple gods? Because the thing that humans have always struggled with, and I get it, and I still struggle with it, is how could something come from nothing? And a lot of religious people will say that. Well, that doesn't make sense. There has to be a God, right? But I've always been like, well, just because we don't understand how something could come from nothing doesn't mean it can't. Our brains don't track it. We don't get it. We're not built to get it. But in this case, it's something coming from something. Now, you still have to figure out where that came from. But our whole way of thinking, our whole logic, our whole idea of time and linear time and this, that, and the other, that could just be exclusive to this particular universe in this black hole. And maybe these other black holes around us or in our universe, maybe there are things, it doesn't necessarily explain, of course, Mandela effect or any of that. It doesn't prove multiverse or any of that. But if this is true, it kind of does prove multiverse, right? At least it proves there's a universe within our universe. It may not be multiverses, like every time you do something, it branches off. Now, again, Sherbert, am I a fucking theoretical physicist? No. Can I prove this? No. Am I explaining it in basic layman terminology at best? Yes. But most people only speak in layman terminology. And this is a real fucking study, and I find it absolutely fucking fascinating. It makes you wonder, does every universe think, or does not even every universe, but, you know, maybe there is a God in our universe, right? But maybe there's 1,000 gods in other universes, you know?
Yeah.
If you could take, think about this. We could see a black hole forming, and we could just start sending shit to it. Like, let's say, think about this. Let's say Voyager, which has been out there since 71. Let's say eventually Voyager, which just got its thrusters back, eventually gets pulled into a black hole. Well, eventually, if this theory is correct, that black hole is going to get so dense that it bounces and creates a new universe, right?
Yeah.
Well, Voyager is now one of the materials that gets spit out and is the building blocks. I don't mean Voyager, it would get demolished, of course. But the elements, the ideas, whatever make things up, there could be, you could influence the creation of other universes just by throwing shit. I mean, this is impossible. We couldn't do it. But I'm saying that theoretically, you could throw shit into a black hole according to this, and it would affect the universe that gets formed, at least in some small way.
I'm thinking, and I'm just talking. Like, I'm just thinking this off the top of my head. They say that the information for a black hole is written on, it's like filed around the edge of the black hole or around the outside. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this right.
Well, yeah,
there's information stored. So I'm wondering if we could somehow get that, if we could learn how the universe was actually created, if we had a way to get that information from the edge of the black hole.
I mean,
what Bunny's talking about the information being saved at a black hole is that the event horizon would slow down time so much so that you'd be able to potentially get information based on what entered at that point.
Yeah.
But the way to read it would be almost impossible because you would have to have something that can go so fast.
Yeah, we would have to have a way to read it. Yeah, but if we actually did come from a black hole, I feel like
we basically say light can't escape it, but maybe other universes, that's not a problem. Maybe shit that's weird in our universe is because they're able to try to communicate with us. Maybe they're a billion years ahead of us in their universe, and they're like, oh, we're sending messages to these other black holes in hopes of saying, hey, we're here too. It's all theoretical, but I think it's fucking cool, and I think it's fucking fascinating, and I want more. And I was thinking about this. I was just like, my dad died in 2012, and my dad was into this kind of stuff. He would have been fascinated by this stuff. And I think about, man, it would suck so bad. But that's life. That's death, right? I'm going to die someday, probably. And I'm not going to know the discovery of this. Is this end up being bullshit? Is this the method that gets locked? Do we eventually learn how to see beyond the black? I hate that part of this existence, is that we don't get to look at a book. Maybe when we die, it's like, okay, haha, we're kidding. Time is not linear. You want to jump to the end and see how it all works? You want to jump to the beginning and see how it was formed? That's not a problem. It's $5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Give us a donut. Give us a donut. Give us a super chat. Okay. But anyway, I think it's amazing. Eris says light does escape. Mathematically, it has to. I don't know. I've been told that light can't escape a black hole. Now, mathematically, if you think that's wrong, cool. Imagine what you did not know before you were born, says Robot. Imagine what was discovered in your lifetime. No, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true, for sure. Okay, let's move on. But I think it was somebody was saying we're at $44 for chapter 2, says Sterling. Is that right, Tech?
That is, well, not chapter 2, because we have we're doing memberships as well, right?
Yes, we're doing memberships. Okay. But if you're considering a membership, instead consider a super chat, because we've already made our membership goal for tonight. We would very much love to make we're already doing one chapter of Goosebumps. We would like to do all of them. But right now, $44 to go, says Sterling. Gotcha.
Yeah. So we currently are, $44. It's like $43.70. But okay. $44
to do chapter 2. Yep. Okay. I wonder, says Awesome, if the black hole thing is what keeps us recycling through several lives. I mean, there's another theory that when we die, there's all the souls hang out in the upper atmosphere. I don't mean heaven. I was going to talk about that. I'll talk about that tomorrow. But it's I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, this kind of reminded me of another. I don't know what part of what you said popped this into my head, but I read this theory a long time ago about this guy that was saying he thinks that when you die, like you die and it's black and there's nothing until you spark consciousness and you become a god, and then you create a universe.
I mean, that's a neat theory, but is it based on anything, or he just thinks that?
I remember reading it was an article. I could maybe find it. It was years and years ago though, but it was just one of those like thought piece kind of articles.
Okay.
My favorite thought piece, kind of like what happens after, is the whole like we're just a cycling deity. You know, I'm the spectacle. You know, I'm skeptical or whatever. You want
to try that word again one more time?
Skeptical.
There you go.
I'm a spectacle. Anyways, the one where like your spirit cycles through other existences in this universe, and at the end of living every single life of every single timeline that exists here, then you become a god. That's a cool one. And I like to think I'm at the end of the
we've talked about that one on here. I've read about that too. That you live through every single life, and if we only knew that, we wouldn't be so mean to each other.
Yeah, I mean that's
being mean to yourself.
I did come up with. I finally understand, and maybe I'm late to the party. I don't know, but I've always struggled with people when they say, "I believe in God," or "I believe in heaven," or whatever, because there's obviously a difference between knowing and believing. Right. And now I think I have more respect for someone if they say, I believe in God, but I don't know if there's a God. Right. Because that kind of, for whatever reason, that came into focus in my brain the other day when I was thinking about, I genuinely believe that when this is over, there is going to be what resonates with me when I hear people talk about it, feels like waking up from a dream. It immediately makes sense. Like, oh, of course. Like I whether that is a simulation or whether that is just a way of existence, I don't know. But I believe that to be true. But I don't know that to be true. And I think it's for whatever reason it took me 54 years for my brain to really be able to understand the distinction, because I think they are obviously different, right? You can have faith all you want. I don't have faith in anything. But I do believe that's true, but I don't know if that's true. I mean, has that been a struggle for you, or you've always understood that? Like you can believe in a higher power, but you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even when you asked me, when I first came on Madhouse, you asked me if I was religious and stuff. And I told that I do believe that there's a God, but only because I want there to be a God, not because I know there is, but that's what I want to be. I want to come from something.
Okay. Right. Okay. That makes sense.
It's GG gamer. That's it. One playthrough and then you're out of here.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Listen to this. You're a young woman about to start your life.
Thank you.
17 years old, about to go out and conquer the world. You come home from school and there's a cake, a beautiful cake sitting on the counter. You're like, wow, this is delightful. I got myself a cake. And there was a message with the cake that said it wasn't signed. It said, a treat for the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. And you start eating the cake, because why not? It's a cake. You get horrible diarrhea. You start vomiting, and then you're dead. That's true. That's what just happened. This girl came home at 1:30 on Sunday, and all what I just said happened. Apparently, it was dropped off by a motorbike courier. No one knows who the delivery was. No one knows who's it from. Did she have an allergic reaction, or did she actually get murdered? No one fucking knows. But you'd think after 17 years on the planet, they would have known if gluten would kill her, if frosting would kill her. So it was either an accident or somebody tried to kill this woman. So I have nothing else to add to that other than, oh my God, who would have thought? Who would have thought that's how you go out?
I'm just glad that when you first started telling that story, my first thought was, I'm sitting in that cake. I didn't immediately think I'm going to eat that cake. My first thought. So see, I would have
You're
survived.
telling me if you went to your mom's house and there was a cake there, nobody was home, and you're like,
take this and sit in it.
really? You wouldn't just go, oh, mom left a cake, or oh, there's this note? I mean, you'd get information first.
Well, I would probably, if it was like a cake that looked like a birthday cake or something, yeah, I wouldn't eat it because I would be assuming it's for something. So,
well,
yeah, I
okay,
would
that's a
assume,
good
like,
point.
It's not my birthday. It must be somebody else's birthday.
Well, maybe it just says
I'm not the most beautiful girl in the world. Somebody else must be. That's for them.
Oh, that's for them. But clearly they're coming over later, so you can get some tips from them, I guess, if they're the most beautiful. But Ellie Alice says, did she know where the cake came from? No. It says a mysterious delivery motorbike courier dropped it off with her sister. The teenager returned home, tasted the unanticipated dessert, and began suffering from violent sickness less than 1 hour afterwards. So I don't think anybody fucking knew what kind of cake was it, Willie. I don't know. They didn't get into that. That's some deep reporting that is behind the paywall, sir. I couldn't tell you. Necro says, why the hell would you eat food from an unknown source? It was in her home, though. It's not like she went to like an alley behind the movie theater.
Suspicious. Like, I feel like I'm very suspicious of stuff, and I wouldn't have fallen for eating a poison cake. I would have been like, who brought this cake?
Wow. Well, Zeke says you can't have your cake and eat it too. You should know that. I guess that's true. Mm-hmm. But I mean, and it's also interesting. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't heard of the DoorDash killer at this point. I mean, you could go out. I mean, you could go out in one night. You get caught after that, but you could probably murder 20 people before people caught on to what you were doing. Right? You get the pizza, probably. You put some cyanide on it, make sure it's not visible, put the little sticker for freshness back on. 2, 3, 10 people dead in the sorority house. Move on to the next one.
Give them all the ideas, Jaffe.
Well, I mean, how have they not thought of this? Are they stupid? Yeah. I mean, hey, look, $20 donos, and we'll give you a whole list of things you could do. I told you that before, that when Ace, it's okay, go. When 9/11 happened, the Hollywood community was pulled together by the government and said, we need you guys to come together, even though Bush had been warned specifically that bin Laden was going to do what he did on 9/11, if he actually did it, but whatever. And they said, look, Hollywood, you're the creatives here. We need you to come up with terrorist things that we haven't thought of. And I don't know what they got. Obviously they wouldn't reveal them, but I've said this before. I would always just be like, dude, get out, Kate. Oh, it's terrible. Just get in a truck with your machine guns and go down the 405 on the sidelines in rush hour traffic and just go.
You know what I've always thought?
No. What have you
always thought? I always thought there was going to be something happen at the Mall of America back when malls were still a thing. Okay. I never understood why nothing ever happened at Mall of America
or Disneyland. And a lot of people will tell you, oh, well, that's because Disneyland has this amazing security. No, it doesn't. Because here's how I know that. I don't know if you guys remember, like 4 years ago, there was that family that got in the fight at Disneyland. You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah.
And no, it took these guys forever to show up. And the first Disney employee that showed up was just kind of watching it like, well, I'm not going to get involved. Fight at Disneyland. I don't know where. Yeah, here it is right here. This was from 5 years ago. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you get the idea. So look how long it takes anyone to show up. And so no, I would look at Disneyland and go, why in the fuck has there not been something awful? Thank God there hasn't. But maybe it's like they're like, look, even the terrorists aren't going to destroy Disneyland. Come on.
They're like, it's magic.
I mean, it is. I love it so much. But look at this. This just goes on, and like usually, what we have been told about the mythos of Disneyland is that there are plainclothes cops everywhere. There are tunnels, which there's security, hidden little doorways and all the little rides and shit. They can just pop. No, where are they? We're a minute into the fucking Jake Paul Tyson fight. Where the fuck are they? Look at this little kid wandering in like, hey, what is this? Are you guys some of the characters?
Yeah, what's going on?
I know it's about to keep going. It's not over. Now he's hitting the woman.
Oh my God, they're fighting everywhere.
I mean, and look at just people standing around, and then in a minute we'll see.
I know it always blows my mind with how many people will stand around.
Yeah, you gotta worry. People might have weapons. I know somebody who got stabbed and killed. Look at this guy. The guy cleaning up. Do you at least have a walkie-talkie? Like you'd think, okay, the janitor's not going to step in. It's not over yet, by the way. It keeps going. The janitor's not going to step in, but at least he could have an ability to go, oh, we got a problem here in Toontown. Now we're back at it. So all I'm telling you is that, look at her, she's knocked down on the train tracks. Maybe the train's going to come kill her. I don't know, man. I don't know. So yeah, you're right though. The idea that it wouldn't happen in a mall, it wouldn't happen at Disneyland. I mean, come on. This is the problem with immigration, allowing every and anybody into Toontown. This is what happens. There's nothing wrong with white people, nothing wrong with black people, nothing wrong with Mexicans. But if you let them all be together in Toontown and you're not a cartoon, this is what happens.
Things
get heated. That woman's still on the goddamn ground. Still on the goddamn ground. Bud Crazy Road. She gets knocked down, but she gets up again. But then he deleted his next message because she's clearly not getting up again. She's still down there. Mooch has been a member. Oh, look at this guy. This guy didn't even work there. Mooch has been a member for 2 months at the Cult Calypso. Thank you so much for all that support, buddy. We appreciate it very, very, very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think she's dead, but she's passed out. Security's probably at Toontown and Goofy's house. Yeah. Now the guy's coming back. What do you need, buddy? You're gonna, like that Vegas shooting the other day. I mean, that was something.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys saw that shit, right?
I didn't. I don't know.
So there's a
now
live
he's
stream
hitting the
community.
what is going on? Get the guy out of the fucking park and look at these two people here. This is like the third group of janitors. Could you maybe get somebody? How hard is it to find the guy in the red shirt? Anyway, sorry. Go back to Vegas.
All the women.
I know.
So Las Vegas has a huge community of live streamers that just like walk around the streets. It's called walking streams, right? And it's like being a tourist and come along with me. It's popular in like Tokyo. It's popular in Vegas, in New York. And they'll just go like holding their phone like this, walking around. And there was these two live streamers that had this beef because one guy, let's call him Person A. Person A was, just doing his normal shit, live streaming events. And Person B was like, I'm going to fucking copyright claim this guy because he's stealing my content because I did the same walk yesterday. Like, motherfucker, what do you mean copyright claim? Anyways, that guy in the hat is Person B. Person B goes through, puts the copyright claim on Person A, and this is all like over a year ago. And he loses the copyright claim. And Person A is like, bitch, you try to take my money. Fuck you. You lost. You're a loser. And for a year, Person A is like, let's see what Person B's doing. There's still a loser. They're fucking, you're trash. And they would just talk shit about Person B. Now, a couple days ago, maybe that was like 3 days ago, I think.
The weekend.
Person A is live streaming with his wife. He's looking at the sights in Vegas. And Person B, in the hat, comes up behind him, pulls out a gun, shoots him in the back of the head, shoots him in the chest, I think 4 times, and then puts like 6 rounds into the wife.
And you see it. Yeah, and you don't.
Did they both die?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously the guy did, but
they're both dead.
Too? Oh my God.
And this is all over them having this online beef about a copyright claim that happened 15 months ago.
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
And he turned himself into the cops the day after, but still, I mean, I'm not going to show it, of course. It's easy to find, and you don't see any blood or anything, or you don't see anybody getting shot, but he pulls the gun out like I'm not going to show you the shooting, but he pulls the gun out and he fires off camera. And you hear the guy going, And then this is the wife, and she's like, oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious? And then she screams, and the phone drops because she's getting shot.
Yeah.
And it's just a really sad situation. And so I don't know, man. I mean, I guess all to say, back up, Anthony. You want to go at it, bitch? Keemstar's Anthony. Jaffe threatened me. No, I didn't. It's a joke, Anthony. God. I'm going to Keemstar with this one. You'll see me on Drama Alert, Buster. Anyway. Yeah, people are insane. You goddamn right. Okay, yeah. Willie Farnsworth says that's why I'm nice to Jaffe now. Look, I would only shoot you in defense, both of those. That's it. All right. Anyway, let's move forward, shall we? I haven't watched this yet, but I wanted to. It's 6 minutes, so it might be boring. I'm gonna Tech. I need your focus, baby.
What is it?
We need to
Yeah,
start.
sorry, the dog.
When you get to California, we got to get you on the Ritalin, pal.
I think computer's lagging.
You're fine now, right?
Yeah.
When you're on the Ritalin, you're actually better. Like you can focus more. You have ADD. Don't worry about it. Let's get you on some meds. The point is this.
Happening.
This is a 6 minute stream, a 6 minute clip called "I'm 51 years old today. No spouse, no kids, no home." This could be boring as shit, but I figured let's watch it together. And in the instant it gets boring, let's turn it off. But I'm going to defer to you, Tech. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
I'm 51 years old today. I have no spouse, no kids, no house or apartment.
Where do you
I
live?
have no car or pets. And I don't even have a real job.
What the fuck are you then?
I'm staying in a room that costs me about $15 a night right now. But you know what? I've never been happier.
Good for you.
So I think back to where I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and beyond. I've worked in IT for 25 years. And in those 25 years, I worked in a variety of jobs for a variety of companies in a variety of places. And it just wasn't for me anymore. I felt like I had reached an end to that part of my journey, and I couldn't do it anymore. The combination of the stress and anxiety of the job and realizing that I was approaching 50 very quickly and felt
Goddamn
that
right, Rob.
many parts of my life were still unfulfilled. So I decided, to pack it up and go see the world. And now here I am 12 months later, and it's been a remarkable year. Just because the system that we're in, the society that you are a part of, tells you that you're supposed to work your whole life to pay for a house that you probably don't need. Why not use that time for yourself and to go enjoy it and explore places that you've wanted to go and things you've wanted to see and rekindle that passion that you have for doing something different. I know this type of lifestyle isn't for everybody. I know that it's not always as easy as just saying go and do it, but I think more people need to explore and wander and go see things that you've always said someday. Life is short, as I always say at the end of my videos. Life is short. Wander. And that really has become a meaningful phrase to me. I don't just say it as like a catchy phrase that doesn't mean anything. It means everything to me. So I think that this video really is just a celebration that I'm still here, that I feel alive again, and that it's okay to say, I want to try something different.
So, okay, we get the gist. But Zeke says this guy is making a skin suit, guaranteed. Yeah.
Hell yeah, he's following his heart.
But Necro says you got to make the money first to live this type of lifestyle. Well, to an extent. I mean, this lifestyle is clearly, what did he say? He spends $10 a night on a room?
15,
I think 15.
Yeah.
So, I definitely think there is some truth that you got to be careful and not just throw everything away that you might need. But the idea, I mean, here's wisdom from the oldest guy on the panel or whatever this fucking thing is.
Go ahead, Bunny.
I'm not a guy.
And she's not, is what I'll tell you is this, is the older I get, the more I very easily recognize. Bud Crazy says, I'm upsetting your dog. Sorry, Anthony.
You know how often I say that all the time? Because all of my dogs will start barking. I'll go, you're upsetting my dog,
Like,
David
you're
Jaffe.
upsetting my dog, David Jaffe. You're upsetting my dog, David Jaffe. But what I will say, though, is the older I get, the more I absolutely recognize the truth about the idea that we have been sold a lot of rules that we don't really need to be following. But if we follow them, it serves somebody else. And we're being kind of, hoodwinked in that way. And it doesn't mean you wholesale throw out everything. Because there is value, I think, in having a job if you are able. There is value in, not being a drain on the system if you don't have to be. Although, to be fair, we live in a system where the corporations are the biggest drain of all with all their bailouts. So maybe it should be fine. But so I do think there's a bit of a balance. But I absolutely think that this guy is 100%, not 100%. But I think there's a lot of wisdom in what he's saying. So, but I don't know. What do you think, Tech? You're the practical one. Me and Bunny, clearly, we're going to join this guy's cult. Unfortunately, we'll have to pay $100 a day because the guy's got to eat. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have it in me to not be as involved with like the society around me, to take like the independent, self-reflective lifestyle that this guy obviously is taking. Right? Mm-hmm. It's cool for him. I need that like external stimulant.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Yeah,
well,
it's not for everybody.
I have an entire wish list on Amazon just filled with stuff that I would need to survive out in the woods by myself. Because one day I might do it. I've thought about it.
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Now, I only learned recently that you can put your wish list out there and people buy you things. Tech was telling me something. Somebody had something on a wish list
on Steam. Yeah.
Oh, right. It was. Yeah. Tell the story, because I'm like, yeah, I knew you could do it on Amazon, but the other night, Tech, tell him what we found, or don't. I don't want to embarrass the guy, but I
mean, I made it up. I'm just joking at Ravenous, but
you made it up.
Yeah. I said Ravenous has this game wish listed on Steam, and it's called Femboys and Fuda's Academy or something.
Okay, well, don't tell it now. If it's not real, it's not fun.
Yeah. It's still funny. I'm still going to make the claim. Ravenous has Fuda and Femboys Academy.
Now, I'm going to tell you, this is a video called When You Think the Cam Girl Likes You. And I may have already said this before. And Bunny was proudly a cam girl. There's no shame in it. She has no shame. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Unless, of course, you're the guy on Reddit, in which case, Bunny, you're a whore. But my thing, I'm just gonna be totally upfront with you, Bunny. And this is me. This is me. It is not you. But because you worked in that industry, I know, I've already told you this, I know you've got the skills to make everybody you encounter feel like a rock star. Every goddamn day of the week. That's what you have to do in that world, right? Whoever comes in, if you're doing dancing you're exactly, right? and so I had to catch myself once, because I'm like, I don't know where the real Bunny starts and stops. I don't know how much of it is a character. And this is why. This is why. I know we will finish the show. Okay, we will finish the show, and then when you guys go do your thing, me, Tech, and Bunny meet up in the room we're in, and we talk about how did it go, how are the numbers, what did we do well, and Bunny's totally engaged, and she's there, and Tech's there and engaged, and the minute I say, okay, cool, that's it, we'll talk tomorrow, I've never seen somebody jump off a call so fast in my life. Me and Tech will hang out a little, hey, what are you playing that game, you doing that thing? Bunny's like, okay, bye, and it's gone. So I'm like, holy shit.
It's mostly because I need to take my dogs out.
I'm just saying I think it's me. I don't think it's you. I think that's how my brain goes, because I just, here's what I'll say. I've never had a friend as cool as you other than my ex-wife. And I'm like going, there's no way she's that cool without knowing that she's, playing a character. Is that just?
I'm not playing a character. I know a lot of people think that I am playing a character.
Fuck you, Andrew. Andrew says, "Can you blame her? You can go suck your own dick, idiot." That's I
love hanging out with Jaffe.
I love hanging out with Jaffe too. I'm just saying, that's where my head goes. Tech, do you ever think these things, or is that fundamentally meaning I'm an insecure person?
you're insecure. I'm also a cool guy, and I would do the same thing. But I'm employed by you, so I hang out for the after meetings. I'm joking. You know, your daughter asked me recently, "How do you view my dad?" And I was like, "Hey, he's kind of like a friend."
Who asked you this?
Your daughter.
What do you mean? How do you view me?
She was like, "Where do you categorize him in terms of like the hierarchy of like relationships you have? Like, is it this is your like boss, this is your friend, this is like some guy you know?" I was like, "Yeah, I like Jaffe. Jaffe's like someone I would be a friend with if I met him like outside of work."
Well, that's fun for you that you feel that. Okay, so moving on.
I think the same thing.
But wait a minute.
I'm kidding.
Jaffe, you've met me in person. Do you,
No,
do you think I'm playing?
no,
No, he doesn't. He
I
doesn't think of you as a
don't.
friend. No.
I didn't say that. That's not what
Does
she
he think
said.
I'm playing a character?
No, I don't. I can be pretty insecure sometimes when it comes to that stuff, and you're just off so fast that I'm like, Jesus Christ. Does she have another podcast to be on? What the fuck is going on over there? And it's none of my business, so I never ask. Like, it's not my business. I don't care what she does. She's not on the show.
My dogs.
I don't, But here's I think you're a whimsical skedaddler. I'm delighted by your presence.
I gotta go wander.
Wander or wonder.
Yeah, go wander.
Oh, south. I
Wander
understand.
around the wanderers.
I understand. Well, your wish list. Your wish list has so much stuff to survive in the woods. Maybe you're not cut out to go in the woods if you need a wish list that big. I've seen people on YouTube build.
No, I want to be prepared.
With what? What do you want? Why not just stay where you are then?
With what? Well, I don't know.
I mean, you can be prepared so much that you're no longer in the woods.
No, well, I mean, you got to be able to drink clean water and
That's
stuff like that. Like, I got all kind of, cook food and things like that.
Have you read that book, Into the Wild,
stuff.
or see that movie?
Yeah.
That was pretty good, huh? That was sad. But anyway, the reason I bring it all up is this movie is this video is when you think a cam girl likes you. I've not watched it, but let's watch it for a brief moment. Unless it's terrible, we'll turn it off.
Hey, Dad. Ready to head out for lunch?
Hey, so you're early, buddy. Yeah, can you just give me a few minutes? I just want to finish up here with Lexi, okay?
Who's Lexi?
It's my new girlfriend.
Girlfriend? Wow. Happy for you.
Look how happy he is. Look how he's so proud of him. Got himself some new tail.
Here, right now. Can I meet her?
Sure, yeah. She's right here.
Bunny goes, "Hit me."
Hit me.
Dad, that's a cam girl.
It's my girlfriend. Watch. Hey, baby. This is my son, Corey. Do you see the resemblance?
Is she AI?
Dad, are you sure she can't even hear you? Like, come on, let's put this thing away.
Wait. Oh, God.
It's supposed to look like strip
Absolutely.
chat.
I
I love it.
forgot to. Voila. She is such a sweetheart.
She's only typing what you want to hear because you're paying her.
That's not true. What's this? Do you think
$100 a message is crazy.
am handsome?
Wait a minute, Tech. We got to get into that racket. $100 at a time?
It's not normal. It's not. That's crazy numbers. Bunny can confirm. Like, this is normally you get a response for like
I'm gonna be a cam girl.
$1.
I can do
$2.
See, this is what made mine a little different. I talked to everybody. I was one of the only cam girls on the site that I was on that wouldn't turn it on to where only paid members could chat.
Right.
I would talk to
well, that
everybody.
sounds familiar, doesn't it, Madhouse? Maybe you should be spending some time over here instead of at the place that you're not allowed to say people's names because you're in kindergarten.
Wait.
There you go. Here we go. Let's see what's happening.
See? She's not even...
See?
Here's my point. You
200.
Keep the shit, Corey. She deserves it.
She's only typing positively because you're paying
She
her.
doesn't just type, Corey. She does much more. Watch.
You just gave her $1,000 to leave the room.
Wait for it.
Dad, seriously, can we just
Oh my God! Look at her, Jesus!
give her $1,000 to dress like a banana?
Look, peel that, put it on the floor, and have you slip and break your neck, Corey.
That's it. I'm not gonna allow you to waste any more money on this. Stop.
God damn, that's hot. I need a cigarette.
Just stop. Give it. Breathe.
What the f? What?
Breathe.
What?
Breathe.
There goes the trailer in the RV. There goes my bean shells. Oh, there goes my
Wait,
sugar apple.
wait a minute. How did Mish get on this video? What the fuck is happening?
There goes the motor.
What's he gonna do with the
Don't speak about my Mish that way.
I'm not insulting him.
That's an insult.
I'm saying because he always tips so good. That's all. Jeez.
He won't now. No, he said
It's over, Jaffe.
How is this arousing?
I love to be financially dominated.
Unplug this.
Away from my keyboard or I'll beat you senseless with it. How do you want a cracker? I want to pick the mites off you.
That's enough. You're not spending any more money. Stop.
She loves me, son. I am signing over one more thing.
No.
Oh shit. I'm not kink shaming him.
Oh, dude. Ow. Dude.
Mish in the chat said,
No.
it's over.
What did you just send her?
Yeah, let me go ahead and call you right back. Bob! Excited to get this in motion for you. Really generous move on your behalf. I respect it.
Dad, what the hell are you doing? What did you just sign over?
The house, son. It's hers.
She doesn't love you, Dad. I wish I could talk to her myself.
You can.
It's yours.
No. It's ours. I just wanted to make sure you love me the way I love you.
Say hello to your new mommy, buddy.
I mean, that's, is that how it really works?
love.
That's love. You goddamn right. That's pretty good. Hey, by the way, thank you, Nemo, for the very generous super gift members. We very much appreciate it. Sent 5 Jaffe gift memberships. Thank you, Nemo. We love you with all our heart and various pieces attached to our dangly bits. Wait, that would be dangly bits. The point is, thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Now, look at here. Look at here. I think it's time to do the the Goosebumps. I think
It's Goosebumps time, yeah.
It's Goosebumps time, yeah. So you got to give us a minute because we didn't. Now we're only doing one chapter, but we're happy to do all 3. But I put the first chapter up on the Discord, so hopefully you guys should see it. You guys see that? And then
The side chat? Where?
no, it should be just in our trio chat. And this goes out to, this is dedicated to K-Nubs. So, let me get it over here real quick. Yeah, you got to record it for K-Nubs, cause he'll learn how it actually works, how to do it.
I see it here.
Okay, 1 second. Where is the chat? Wait, it's not there. Is it here? Nope. Where the fuck is it? Is it in the studio?
Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah.
I can present my screen if you want.
No. We don't want people to see it.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Well, because we're performing it. We don't want them to see the script, do we?
They can just read along.
No.
Okay.
No.
Good one, Bunny. Don't take his shit.
Yeah, I can take it.
Well, then how do I have you see it?
Never mind. I can do it. Okay. I'll just go there myself. 1 second. Okay, but you guys have it, correct? Bunny and Ted?
Yeah, I posted it at the bottom, so it's there.
Okay. All right. So here's how we'll do it. I will be the narrator. Bunny and Tech, you be the various characters, and you just decide who you want to be in real time. There is a girl, Sherry Walker, and there's 3 dudes, and there's a narrator. All right. So why don't you be Sherry? You be Bunny. You be Sherry and Doug, and Tech. You be Pitts and Greg.
Piss and Greg. Sounds good.
No. Sorry. You be Greg and Bird. Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's give it a shot. Greg and Bird.
Let me know if the music's too loud. Here we go. Can you hear the music on the YouTube, you guys? Oh, but you guys can't hear it. So let me share the screen.
That's fine.
You sure? All right. Test.
I hear you. Hello.
Okay, and you can hear the audio, the music on Discord.
I hear it on the stream. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Okay, here we go. Madhouse Radio presents Goosebumps, Say Cheese and Die by K-Nubs and R.L. Stein. Michael Warner. Who's Michael Warner?
That's Bunny.
This is a guy. You got to be the guy.
Oh. Okay. There's nothing to do in Pitt's Landing.
Michael Warner said, his hands shoved into the pockets of his faded denim cutoffs.
Yeah. Pitt's Landing is the pits.
Greg Banks said. Doug Arthur and Sherry Walker muttered their agreement, but in truth, Sherry Walker was very curious about what lived underneath Michael Warner's faded denim cutoffs. Pitt's Landing is the pits. That was the town's slogan, according to Greg and his 3 friends. Actually, Pitt's Landing wasn't much different from a lot of small towns with quiet streets of shady lawns, racist, KKK members, and comfortable old houses. But here it was, a balmy fall afternoon, and the 4 friends were hanging around Greg's driveway, kicking at the gravel, wondering what to do for fun and excitement.
Who's Doug?
I
think I Doug, Greg, and Bird?
Sure.
All right, I guess.
No. Bunny's Doug and Sherry.
Oh, okay.
And Michael.
Oh yeah.
And Michael. I don't.
Oh wait, no, I'm Michael.
All right, I'll be Doug, Greg, and Bird. All right.
All right.
Let's go to Grover's and see if the new comic books have come in.
Doug suggested.
We don't have any money, Bird.
Greg told him. Everyone called Doug Bird because he looked like a bird. Some people wondered if his mother had fucked a bird because he looked like a bird. A better nickname might have been Stork. He had long, skinny legs and took long, stork-like steps. He was a son of a bitch. Under his thick tuft of brown hair was a cancer scar because he ended up living too close to the railway when the toxic waste dump would be drained and sent out to other towns. It doesn't matter. Look, he didn't brush his hair a lot is the point. He had small bird-like brown eyes and a long nose that curved like a beak. Well, Doug didn't really like being called Bird, but fuck it. He was used to it, and what? He was going to make more friends after all this time?
We can still look at the comics.
Bird insisted.
Until Gravel starts yelling at you.
Sherry said.
Oh, Grover.
She puffed out her cheeks and did a pretty good imitation of that gruff comic book store owner.
Are you paying or staying?
He thinks he's cool.
Greg said, laughing at her imitation.
He's such a jerk.
I think the new X-Force is coming in this week.
Bird said.
You should join the X-Force.
Greg said, sounding exactly like Bird for some reason, giving his pal a playful shove.
You could be Bird, man. You'd be great.
We should all join the X-Force.
Michael said.
Sounded like Sherry.
Oh, oops. Oh, yeah, I'm a guy. If we were superheroes, maybe we'd have something to do. Oh.
Now Sherry.
You gotta skip ahead a little bit after the narrator speaks to see who's up next.
It's not written like a script.
No, we wouldn't.
Sherry quickly replied.
There's no crime to fight in Pitt's Landing.
We could fight crabgrass.
Bird suggested. He was the joker in the group, but clearly today he wasn't on his A game. The others laughed anyway, sympathy laughed, because they knew he'd be the first of the gang to die. The four of them had been friends for a long time. Greg and Sherry lived next door to each other, and their parents were best friends. They probably were swingers. Bert and Michael lived on the next block.
How about a baseball game?
Michael suggested.
We could go downtown to the playground.
Michael said, being incorrect about going downtown, and he didn't say that, and he thought, maybe I misspoke and I should try again.
What?
Read the line again, Bunny. There's no downtown.
We could go down. Oh, sorry. We could go down to the. Well, maybe we could go downtown. Maybe I'm improving.
All right, $3 if somebody wants them to take a detour downtown. $3 in the next 30 seconds, and we'll have them go to the goddamn downtown, and then
There's something interesting down there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Michael knows.
All right. Well, okay. So at the moment, Michael suggested going downtown. The other kids looked strangely at him, like, downtown? That's odd, but they decided to ignore it, and Sherry spoke next.
No way.
Sherry said,
You can't play with the only 4 people.
She pushed back a strand of her crimped black hair that had fallen over her face. She was wearing an oversized yellow sweatshirt over bright green leggings, but it couldn't hide the woman she was slowly becoming, and the other young men realized that soon it would be just like Lord of the Flies, and they would be fighting over who got to take her virginity. I added all of this.
Yep, we're going downtown.
I have no idea, by the way, how old these kids are. I'm assuming they're like 17. If they're like 8, forgive me. I don't know. They haven't said how old they are. It's a horror thing, so I'm assuming they're high school kids. Nemo wants a detour. Mish wants a detour. You goddamn right. All right, you guys got to improv. Suddenly the kids decided, you know who had a good idea? Michael. We're going downtown.
I'll call an Uber.
So Sherry called an Uber.
Page 2, Michael says.
What?
For Bunny, page 2.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
No, they're going downtown first. They've detoured.
Yeah.
We can work it into the script. All right, fuck it.
We got to go downtown first. One of the kids got the idea to go downtown to maybe see if they could recruit some kids to play baseball with him from the poorer parts of town.
Do you think the guys in the projects would play ball with us, Michael?
Michael was apprehensive because Michael, of course, was a Jew, and he knew that there was a lot of anti-Semitism downtown, but he wanted to make his friends feel good, so he said,
maybe we should try it.
The Uber pulled up almost right away, and the kids piled in. Suddenly they were assaulted by the smell of really bad Axe body spray and a loud version of a wannabe Joe Rogan on the radio. They headed to downtown.
I call a shotgun.
You can't call
shotgun. Can I get shotgun?
You can't get shotgun. I called it.
Keep it down, you stupid kids. I'm listening to Joe Rogan. Eventually, they made their way downtown, right up at the projects. You sure this is where you kids want to get out?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
The kids got out, and they encountered a lot of dead kids. And they said, who's that man in the distance in the projects that's wearing the trench coat and has a hook on his hand, and there's bees flying all over his face?
Oh.
What, baby?
That there's the internet hobo.
No! George was wrong as always. It wasn't the internet hobo. It was Candyman. Candyman. Everyone jumped back in the Uber, and they drove back to the suburban neighborhood, which is that they would never leave again because they realized that the real issue in America is class warfare. Maybe we'll find some other kids on the park, Michael said, picking up a handful of gravel from the drive and letting it shift through his chubby fingers. Michael had short red hair, blue eyes, and a face full of freckles. He wasn't exactly fat, but no one would ever call him skinny. And he knows, eventually, 30 years from now, as lying on the bathroom floor bleeding out at his own hand, he'd realize that that could have been the one thing that would have saved his life. Anyway, Brad spoke up next. Bird spoke up next.
My computer's lagging.
Come on, let's play baseball.
Bird urged.
I need the practice. My little league starts in a couple of days.
They're young.
Oh, these are kids. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. Everything I said earlier totally changed that. All right, keep going.
Little League in the fall?
Sherry asked, realizing Bird was a stupid motherfucker, just like his father had said.
Hey, we'll come watch you.
What?
Oh, no, I missed it. Hold on.
It's a new fall league. The first game is Tuesday after school.
Bird explained.
We'll come watch you.
Greg said.
We'll come watch you strike out.
Sherry added, realizing that she was about as big of a bitch as her mother was. Her hobby was teasing Bird.
What position are you playing?
Greg asked.
Backstop.
Michael cracked. No one laughed. Michael's jokes always fell flat. Bird just shrugged.
Probably the outfield. How come you're not playing, Greg?
With his big shoulders and muscular arms and legs, Greg was a natural athlete of the group. He was blond and good-looking with flashing grey eyes and a wide, friendly smile, which also made him a target of Freddie Finda, the freaky pedophile who drove the local mail truck. If you'd like to hear about Freddie Finda, freaky pedophile, that'll cost you $5 and we'll detour. Otherwise, we'll keep going with the story. While we wait to decide, here's an ad from one of our sponsors. Well, look what I found. It's Mish playing cards. These playing cards from Mish Incorporated are great. Bunny, would you like to play a game with me with these cards?
I sure would.
Look, there's a whole rule book that comes with these. We don't even have to learn stinky old rules. What's this one called?
I can't read.
Well, I can read, Bunny. I'll tell you. It's called Stick a Card Up Your Ass. Oh, and now we're back. Save the kids, says Nemo. Suddenly the kids decided to look into Freddy Freaky Fuckface. Ellie also wants to know about Frankie, the Freddy, the killer, this pedophile. Well, here's what we do, said Greg.
Oh, man. You know, baseball field gets prowlers this time of night. I think Freddy's been around here lately.
Not Freddy!
Sherry was undeterred.
Frankie!
Sherry was undeterred. She didn't scav easy like the other kids for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe she had been experienced already in understanding and shut herself off into a cocoon that would take her many, many years of therapy to ultimately step outside of. But for now, she just said this about Freddie Frankie, the pedophile who drove the mail truck.
He's not so bad, you guys. He has puppies in the back of his truck.
The kids were very excited, and they ran to the back of the truck. Suddenly, Freddie saw them. Well, kids, it's nice to see you, said Freddie. That's the voice changes. I'm not Freddie.
Yeah.
Come look in the back of my truck and come look at the puppies.
Get out of here, Freddy. This is Greg, the guy with big shoulders and muscular arms and legs, a natural athlete of the group, blonde and good-looking with flashing gray-green eyes and a wide, friendly smile, and I'm telling you, get the fuck out of here.
Because what Freddie didn't realize is he also had a hell of a right hook, and Sherry was the first to egg on the plan that she had concocted and told the other kids, and she screamed loud to Greg when she knew it was time to strike, and she said,
Take the puppies, now!
I got him! We're getting out of here!
Okay,
I got the puppies!
And that happened, but then Sherry remembered they also wanted to murder Freddie with his big, strong arms.
Yeah.
That was her plan, and she remembered it quickly. And she said...
Yeah, kill him. Kill him with your big, strong arms, and I'll take the puppies.
I got it, Sherry. Bam, bam, bam.
His face was
Bam.
polarized to a bloody mess you could no longer recognize, and then squirrels came and ate him. And then they decided to continue playing some baseball. With his, my brother Terry, said Greg.
Greg pops up, yeah. My brother Terry was supposed to sign me up, but he forgot.
Said
Sorry,
Greg,
Bird.
making a disgusted face as he was talking about why he was not playing baseball. Sherry spoke up next.
Where is Terry?
She asked. She had a tiny crush on Greg's older brother. Sure she did. Sure it was tiny. Well,
he got a job Saturdays after school at the Dairy Freeze.
Greg told her.
Let's go to the Dairy Freeze.
Michael exclaimed enthusiastically.
We don't have any money, remember?
Bird said glumly.
Terry will give us free cones.
Michael said, turning a hopeful gaze on Gregory.
Yeah, free cones, but no ice cream in them.
Greg told him.
You know what a straight arrow my brother is.
This is boring.
Sherry complained, watching Robin hop across the sidewalk.
It's boring standing around talking about how bored we are.
We could sit down and talk about how bored we are.
Bird suggested, twisting his mouth into a goofy half smile he always wore when he was making a dumb joke.
Let's take a walk or jog or something.
Sherry insisted. She made her way across the lawn and began walking, balancing her white high tops on the edge of the curb, waving her arms like a high wire performer. The boys, of course, followed her, imitating her in an impromptu game of follow the leader, all of them balancing on the curb as they walked. A curious cocker spaniel came bursting out of the neighbor's hedge, yapping excitedly. Sherry stopped to pet him. The dog, its stub of a tail wagging furiously, licked her hand a few times. Then the dog lost interest and disappeared back into the hedge. The four friends continued down the block, playfully trying to knock each other off the curb as they walked. They crossed the street and continued past the school. A couple of guys were shooting baskets, and some little kids played kickball on the practice baseball diamond. But no one they knew. The road curved away from the school, and they followed it, past the familiar homes. Then, just beyond a small wooded area, they stopped and looked up a sloping lawn, the grass uncut for weeks, tall weeds poking out everywhere, the shrubs ragged and overgrown, and at the top of the lawn, nearly hidden in the shadows of an enormous oak tree, there was a large ramshackle house. The house, anyone could see, had once been grand. It was gray shingled, 3 stories tall, with a wraparound screen porch, a sloping red roof, and tall chimneys on either end. But the broken windows on the second floor, they creaked and cracked, the weather-stained shingles, the bare spots on the roof, and the shutters hanging loosely beside the dust-smeared windows were evidence of the house's neglect. Everyone in Pitt's Landing knew it as the Kaufman House. Kaufman was the name, painted on the mailbox anyway, that tilted on its broken pole over the front walk. But the house had been deserted for years, ever since Greg and his friends could remember, and people liked to tell weird stories about the house. Ghost stories and weird tales about murderers and ghastly things that happened there. Of course, most likely, probably, none of them were true.
Hey, I know what we can do for excitement.
Michael said, staring up at the house bathed in shadows.
What are you talking about, Willis?
Greg asked warily.
Let's go into the Kaufman house,
Michael said, starting to make his way across the weed-choked lawn.
Whoa! Are you crazy?
Greg called, hurrying up to catch him.
Let's go in,
Michael said, his blue eyes catching the light of the late afternoon sun filtering down through the tall oaks. Michael?
Lost my place.
It's you, Michael.
Yeah, I lost my place. Hold on. We wanted an adventure. Something a little exciting, right? Come on. Let's check it out.
Greg hesitated and stared up at the house. A chill ran down his back. Before he could reply, a dark form leapt up from the shadows of the tall weeds and attacked him. And that has been the performance of Chapter 1, Madhouse Theater's R.L. Stein, Goosebumps, Say Cheese and Die.
Wow.
I'll tell you, it's a scary story, fellas. It's a scary goddamn story. I understand why it is. Hang on, I'm getting a phone call. 1 second. Oh, it's Keemstar. He wants us back. He thought that was brilliant. So listen. There you go. Let us know in the future if you want us to do that again. In the meantime, though, that has been Madhouse for Tuesday night. We are going to meet in 30 minutes. What time is it? We're going to meet at, 9 o'clock California time. Bunny, if that's too late, we understand. If not, we'll see you over there as well. Okay. We are going to play some horror video games next on the stream. This stream will die. Come on, Jaffe, use a better verb. Shut up, idiot. No, you shut up. This stream will be shut down. We're taking 30 minutes. We're going to restream on this very channel some horror demos because you guys have been so generous and supportive. But I do want to say, thank you guys very, very much for supporting the show, being here tonight, sharing your thoughts on these topics that I adore. We are back tomorrow morning. We're doing the game stream, but then we're back tomorrow morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there, for a few hours for the morning show. I'll be there. Tech will be there. Bunny, as I said, you're always welcome to come if you want to be there, or if you have time. We talk about, it's politics, pop culture, just whatever comes to mind. Take calls, blah, blah, blah. And then we're back tomorrow night with a Gabbin' and Games at 6:30, and then we're back on Thursday with a Madhouse, and we're back on Friday with a Madhouse Friday High Day. So that is what is happening. That is the show. Thank you, Wax on Wax. We appreciate the super chat. Very, very kind. Very, very courteous. And then, okay, we got it. We're doing a song. All right, we're doing a song to the new ending created by our very own amazingly skilled Ms. Bunny Butani. And let's bring that up on the screen real quick. 1 second. All right, here we go. Until then, though, my dear friends, the Madhouse is closed. We will see you soon.
Who gets the song?
I wonder why the song is for someone Tech will tell us. Maybe it's Nemo, maybe it's Mish, maybe it's Canty the dish, maybe it is Mooch or Ellie Alice or Wax on Wax or Liquid 23 or April Cool or Willie Farnsworth or Drew DeSato or Awesome Tatum or Weg Tep Simplified. Go, Bunny, go!
Maybe it's all of those people we don't know because Tech still hasn't said that he's the goober and we all hate him and want him to die.
We're going to do a quick rundown. This goes out to A. Sharafi. Thank you for supporting our friend Jaffe. Alien Popcorn. What does he like? He likes girls and cage porn. Bud Crazy 420. He has money aplenty. Thank you for supporting the show. Da Vinci's Demons. He likes Siemens. Ectoplasm Arcade. He knows how we get paid. Yusefi. You the bestie. She's Kleptomaniac. Thank you. Alice.